Hi fellow Django developers, Hezekiah here from alwaysdjango.com, where we discuss interesting Django topics that help you grow, improve as a Django developer. If that sounds interesting, like, subscribe, share this video with anyone if you find this video important. Let's get into it. So I'm recording this video immediately after the last one, which is Django permissions. If you want to check it out, right? So here we'll be looking at Django Admin Panel, right? And I mentioned in that tutorial that Django Admin Panel is just a panel, let me say a dashboard, right? Where a super user can can log into and view the database entries, right? So view the models and their instances and be able to modify, delete it, right? So it's important for maybe if you are creating something like an e-commerce website, right? You can use the dashboard, the built-in dashboard as the admin dashboard, right, where the admin gets to create the products and delete the product, change their prices and what have you, right? So now super users are, like I said, like the name implies, super users, right? So they can do things that a normal user cannot do, right? So a super user, a user that you simply create from the browser, the users we have been creating from the browser are not super users, right? So let me open my browser right quick. So they are not super users, right? They are normal users. Now to create a super user, you go to your terminal. Let me open my terminal. You go to your terminal. You can see I just pushed the last code tutorial, last code for the last tutorial that we did to GitHub. If you don't know, I'll leave a link to the GitHub repository. It's just a repository where our code for this project is stored, right? So if you want to look at if you want to look at different codes for different lessons, you just go there, go to particular branch, click on it, download it, pull it, push it, download it, pull it, and do anything you want, right? So let's say for you, let me clear this. So for you to create a super user in Django, use your terminal like we have opened here. Use your terminal. Now Python, you say Python manage.py create super user. Wow, very surprising, guy. So you say create super user, right? If you say create super user, enter. Now Django will ask you for your super user credentials. It will ask for your username, for your password, for your email, I think. And so for your username, let's say user 3, right? Because we have the user 1, user 2. Let's say user 3. Email, let's say user 3 at alwaysdjango.com, right? So password, let me give it a password. You cannot see it right now because of course that's a security measure by Django, right? So you can see super user created, right? So let me show you what makes a user super. So if we go to our models.py, right, this is where we imported the user. Where was it? This is where, if we come to view.py, let's import the Django built-in user model, django.contrib.auth.models import. Let's import user, right? So let's import user. If we inspect this, right, if we inspect this and come down, you can see we have something like is active, is super user, is staff, right? So is super user, by creating this user here, it assigns this is super user to true, right? For every normal user, is super user is false, right? For every user is active, right? So you use this for maybe when you want to implement email validation and stuff like that. So when you create a user, the user will be, this active will be maybe false initially. Then if the user if the user verifies his email, you change it to true, right? So his staff is also, this is super user also get his staff true, right? So you have to be a staff user and is a super user for you to be able to edit the admin panel, right? So these are the two variables that makes a user a super user, right? For a super user, they are true. right? His staff is true, his active is true, his super is true, right? But for a normal user, his staff is false, his active is true, right? You need to be active to be able to use the application. His super user is also false, right? So I hope that was clear, right? So to use the admin panel right here, if you go to our urls.py, let me close everything here. Let me close all. So if we go to our urls.py, you can see that there is a particular URL we have not talked about, right? On top of this place here, right? It is the admin, this is the URL for the admin panel, right? So if we go to our application, if we on our server, so if we say python manage.py run server, right? So if we run our server right now, so if we run our server right now, you can see, then we'll go to here, go to our application, we'll go to /admin, right? So if we go to /admin right here, yeah, so this is the panel where you are asked to log in as an admin user, right? So this is this URL we have here, right? This URL that comes with Django automatically, right? So this admin URL, this is what we have here. So if we log in as a super user, user 3, right, which we just created, let's say called so the password. So if we log in right now, if we log in right now, we made a mistake in the URL part. It should be /URL // right? That was the error we have here. So I just simply removed this and it came back. So if we log in right here, you can see we have this user, right? You can see right here, let's go back. You can see you have authentication and authorization, we have groups, you have users, right? So if you come here, you can see we can have access to all the users in our application, right? Including the super user. This is the super user. These are all the users that are created in our application. Now we can come into this user Hezekiah 1. We can change the username, we can change his first name, his last name, his email, we can reassign his active state, we can reassign the staff state, that's his staff, his super user, and stuff like that. We can change his group, add group for him, change his group, and etc, right? So this admin panel, we can really we can change anything we want in terms of our models and their entries, right? So the next task would be how can we add, of course we have this book model right here. So the next thing would be how can we add this book model so that it can come in here and so that we can edit it as a super user. And it's super simple. You go to your application folder, this books application folder. If you don't know about applications, a tutorial is in this playlist. Go and watch it and come back, right? It will also be, the link to it will be in the description, right? So if you go to this admins.py, right? We go to admins.py, right? We have admin imported for you. So if you say, if we import the model, we want to add this model here to this panel, right? So we go to admin.py, right? We import the model, we say from .models, right? We import, and that should be book, right? Book, that's this model here. So if we do that, we say, after that we now do this, we say admin, right? Admin, which is this, right? Admin.site or .sites, I can't really remember. Let's try .site.book, right? So if we say admin.site.register book, right? If we go back and refresh, fingers crossed, you can see right here we have these books right here. So we can come here, look at all the books that are created, right? All the books that are created, you can come here, change the description, change maybe the name, change its published date. You can even delete it, right? You can click on delete. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, I want to delete. It is deleted. This newest book, you can come here and click on delete. You can delete it. It's deleted. This DDDJ something. So we can come here, change this name to the book, right? We can change this name, change this description to a new description, right? A new description. We can say save, right? And it's changed, right? The book and the description is a new description with an M at the end, right? So that's it for me. I think this is very awesome, right? Django admin panel, and this admin panel might be like one of the reasons why Django has authority or gains a little bit of heads up above other back-end frameworks, right? I don't know of any other back-end framework that ships with it an admin panel, right? So automatically you can build a site, an e-commerce site, and just use this panel. You don't have to worry yourself. You just implement the authentication which you have been looking at. You just implement the authentication for ordinary users, and they'll use this admin panel to let me say, to be used by the admin user, right? The owner of the company or something like that, right? So if there's any other backend framework that ships in with an admin panel, please leave a comment in the description. I'll be very interested to know, right? I know Laravel doesn't, of course, for the last time I used it. I know Laravel doesn't, Flask obviously doesn't, not Fast API obviously, not Node.js. So Django is only backend framework I think I'm 70% sure that comes in with an admin panel, right? So in the next tutorial, we'll be looking at how to edit these books also how a user can edit the book instances, right? So after that, that's editing, deleting, and we have used that creating, reading. So we'll be looking at updating and deleting, right, to complete the CRUD process, right? And we'll possibly, thinking about it, we'll possibly use generic views, right? So if you don't know generic views, there is also a playlist in this channel. You can look at it and what have you. So enough of my blabbing. Check out the GitHub for the source code. Enough of my blabbing. I'm even tired. Enough of my blabbing. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Peace.